Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So on the agenda tonight, it's going to be a bit of fun because we're looking at the angriest guitar player in the world. And this is a guy from Liverpool and he goes by the name of the Treeman in terms of his artistic name. And this is going to be him trying to get down the rhythm work for his track called Ghost of Love. Now you might have seen this video before. It has got swearing in it, which I'll probably post-edit this and put bleeps over it, but I'm going to put the link to the original video in my description so you can see the uncensored version if you want to. But let's get the Treeman up on screen and see how he gets on with his track Ghost of Love.
Look at one. These let me dance tonight. To do that again, that is bad and every time getting in there game. Now do it! It's not my day for doing this one. I want to move on.
One more try and then we'll move on. We'll move on to the next one.
Every time I get so far! I'm not doing it. Bad enough.
I'm just going to jump in here because what I love about this video is everyone who plays guitar or who's tried playing guitar can relate to this. One thing that you just can't get down, and it is really frustrating, he's got all of this anger and frustration, but he's still got the willingness to pick up the guitar again and try it again and again and again. And from a teaching perspective, because I've been teaching for 14 years, almost 15 years now, looking at his technique, what he could do to make his right hand work a little bit easier with the flat picking is once he gets to that high E string, do an upstroke so that you're always picking down until the last string and then come up so that you're coming up to the next root note, because at the moment he's going away from his next root note, which means that he's got even further to travel. The further you've got to travel, the less likely it is you're going to hit the right string when you come back to start your picking pattern again. It seems like most of the problem though is with the left hand in terms of him arching those fingers over and getting a clean ringing sound from those strings, and that's what's really annoying him. So when the picking's right, the chord isn't there, and when the chord's there, the picking's not right. So he's really getting some frustration going here. And another thing quickly from a learning perspective is that your brain has a definite window that it learns in, and it will start playing something and you'll start to get on a roll with whatever you're learning. But as soon as that time period is up, say that you've been playing something perfectly for 5 minutes, you might then find in the 6th minute is where you've oversaturated that learning process and you'll start making mistakes. And at this point, you should give up. That is the point at which your brain has said, right, I've stored the information I need, so now let's almost reflect on that information so that you can then recall it at a later date. So go away, have a break, have half an hour off. And the worst thing you can do is try to get back up that cliff, because once you've gone over the edge, that is it. You might have been playing something really well maybe without any mistakes for 5 minutes. And then the 6th minute, you might make a tiny mistake and you think, oh, well, I'll just do it again without that mistake. And then you might make a couple of mistakes. And now you start getting frustrated. So you want to do it again without any mistakes, and you get frustrated, and then you'll do even more mistakes. And you forget the fact that you were playing it for 5 minutes perfectly. You're now only focused on all these annoying mistakes. And it gets this, well, it's like a vicious circle. It gets to this point where you get so frustrated, you feel like giving up, but you forget that you were doing it. And once you do it a few times consistently, your brain has now got that information. And don't try and overforce the brain to take in more information than it wants to. Once you start making mistakes, just put the guitar down, have a little break, come back to it later, and just do it in these tiny little sections, and you'll find that your playing will progress a lot more quickly, and it will be a lot less frustrating. We've still got 1:20 left here, so let's get back into the video and see how the Treeman gets on.
Nearly that kills me! We hit the note! Ironical. Will you let me do it, you stupid hands? Let me do it! It's a this. I just haven't got the mentality. I just haven't got the concentration level that is required to do a full set without messing up. The concentration level is totally .
And there we have it. And at the end of that video, he's saying, I just haven't got the concentration level to do it, but he has got the attitude. This is one of those things about being a guitar player, that no matter how frustrated you get, you can't help but pick up the guitar again because you've got to get it right. I think he said at some point, I'm going to get this if it kills me. And that's the attitude that you've got to have. Of course, eventually he does get it just through practice, repetition. Practice and repetition are your best friends in this kind of case when you're just trying to do some picking, get it right. Obviously, there are tiny little technical elements that I mentioned before that would make this easier for him to play. But because it's not super fast with the picking, he will be able to eventually get that muscle memory in the right hand in order to pick out those strings individually. But just the frustration that everyone can relate to, no matter what level you play guitar to, it's just something that happens in the learning process. Obviously, some people are more vocal about the frustration than other people. I'm very much a quieter person in terms of if there is any frustration, it's all in my head and I never let it come out in terms of physically hitting things. I love also the fact that the guitar is taped together in that second section, so he's obviously given the guitar a bit of a beating. But this is a really cool video. I haven't seen this one in probably a few years, so it's just as funny now as when I first saw it because it is so relatable. If you do get a chance, check out the Treeman and his song that this is actually coming from called Ghost of Love. I'll put the link to this video in the description below so you can go onto the channel, which is just his friend. This is his friend's channel who's doing the video. As you can see on the video, there is a second video where the Treeman's trying to get down his playing for another one of his songs, and I think that's the one where he's doing vocals as well. So that's definitely worth a watch. And maybe I'll analyze that one in the future, who knows, but this video is so relatable. Anyone that's played guitar or learned guitar has got to this point of being really frustrated. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!